We're Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live broadcast. My name is Josh, and happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I just really quickly drank a coffee, and I can feel myself like almost sweating right now. So I feel supercharged for a Friday afternoon broadcast. Spirits are high here. Things have been going well over the past 24 hours. If you're new to this channel, please give me a thumbs up. If you're old to this channel, please give me a thumbs up. But we are talking about building businesses. Many of us have eBay businesses or e-commerce, re-commerce, reselling businesses, myself included, along with my co-founders. And if you are new here, my name is Josh, and this is The Document. This is us documenting the road to $100 million in listed product from the ground up, from zero. So we are what is called bootstrapping from nothing. Bootstrapping from zero and on our way to 100 million. We are live for 61 days. And what allows us to do this, the core flux capacitor, the nucleus of this entire operation, is List Easier Artificial Intelligence, which allows us to list hundreds or even thousands of pieces of inventory every single day. And it's helping us grow this business. And it's given us the time to be organized and do it the correct way, the way it should be done. So we are here, and I usually start these broadcasts, again, if you're new here, by just talking about what's changed over the past 24 hours. The first thing that's changed is our new customer service or customer support system has been put in place, and it's been put to its first tests. And I think it's incredible. So if you've contacted customer support over the past 24 hours, you most likely have had a positive experience, and it's also a positive experience for us. So the new system is absolutely incredible. It allows us to, rather than manually forwarding emails back and forth to each other and things get lost, it allows the correct team members to address the correct problems. I absolutely love it. And it gives me an opportunity to kind of discuss with people, see what issues they're having, and then we can organize those issues to see if it's actually a bug or it's a user error. So really, really happy with how that's working. Incredible. So kudos to Super Dave. He loves to be called Super Dave. Kudos to Super Dave for taking that on and setting up that architecture. It's been incredible. I really like it so far. And it works mobily, so we can work on customer support when we're somewhere else. So you guys may remember a few weeks ago, we had a meeting out of town, and we couldn't run customer support because we were literally 6 hours away. Now we can do that on our mobile app. So love it. Next level stuff. Very awesome. So we've always said that the goal here, or the key, is to do things that benefit the customer. I think this will definitely benefit everyone because it allows for quicker response times on the customer support. So it's really awesome. Really, really awesome. I can't say enough nice things about it. I'm going to turn my ringer off so I don't get any noises or rings or ka-chings or anything else. What else has changed in the past 24 hours? Spencer the Oracle has been working hard yesterday, and she processed a lot of inventory, quite a bit of inventory. So that's exciting. It's really cool to see. I like how organized it is. I like the way everything looks. And what else? We have been invited, I forgot to tell Super Dave this, but we've been invited to a tech leadership conference on March 25th. So that's between the times of 5:30 and 8 p.m. So I'm excited for that. We're going to attend that, and that has tech leaders in the region getting together with, there'll be all sorts of people there, and we can discuss tech and what's working and what isn't and everything else. But we tend to find really good partnerships there, or at least people that can unlock certain doors within the industry. So that's exciting as well. And the last thing that's changed in the past 24 hours is we look like we're going to have a little bit of an inventory gap here. So our supplier is behind. We are extending grace to them, basically not pushing them like we need it now, because again, we need to support this relationship for a long period of time. So we're either going to look this weekend and find new inventory or contact some of our old suppliers or reach out, see if we can get some inventory to bridge the gap. There's probably going to be a 2 or 3 week gap here. Or we'll start working on the 20,000 pieces of media that we still have here. So those have to be processed anyway. So that's kind of where we're at. Right. So that's the past 24 hours. It is Friday. I am excited. I went to the simulator yesterday. I played 2 rounds, and those were my 2 best rounds I've ever played. I shot a +4 and a +5 in the sim with a 4-foot concede. It was absolutely incredible. So for me, that's a long way. Like, I've come a long way with the game. So I'm really excited to play outside. So many years of sacrifice and working and building and not having any free time. Now that my kids are a little bit older, they're old enough to be home alone. And also, I have a little bit more time away from the business where I can do things that I enjoy, like golfing. So I've been working on that to get better. And I'm just in a good place. So that's where we are at. I hope your business is going well. Your sales are good. I like to hear in the comments how you're all doing. And let's get into the numbers. This hand. 2 accounts, listeasier_records, listeasier_books. These accounts are live on eBay, and you will see what we're up to if you save us as a seller, put the little heart icon. You can watch what we're up to, watch our items going up, and hold us accountable if you'd like. If not, just take our word for it. The number's at the bottom of the screen. We have a total of 14,689 listings live. Bam, that's incredible after 61 days. So we're 2 months in, 14,689 listings. Total listed, $371,061.53. We are 129,000 away from that $500,000 goal. So watch us hit that. I think that's coming in the middle of March. We'll see how it goes, but I think the middle of March, maybe towards the end of March, but that number is going to come pretty quick. That's exciting. We're 61 days in, so for the first 30 days, we were in this verification loop, and we finally got verified, but we still haven't been operating long enough to get top-rated seller status. So we operate at above standard until our account is active for 90 days, I believe eBay has said. And then after that 90 days, we get top rated, which I think will unlock more sales once we have some proven track record and history behind us. So again, our accounts are under 100 feedback, both of them, listeasier_records, listeasier_books. And not only that, but we, on those 2 accounts, for whatever reason, don't qualify for the automatic feedback. So shame, but it is what it is. So it's rolling now. We're going. Also, revenue, $21,430.43. Very happy with the way everything is going, and we just have to keep going now. The discipline to continue forward, and I can tell you that the entire team is locked in. So very optimistic, very positive, very locked in. Very positive, very locked in. Very positive and very locked in. Okay, everyone. What's the topic for today? It's Friday. There is no topic, really. We had a great discussion yesterday. We talked about customer support and customer service. So the new customer support system that we put in place got a lot of people asking questions about what's coming up, what is it that we're doing, all these other things. And it was a great discussion. So check out yesterday's video if you're interested in that. I'm also thinking, I don't know how to do it here, but I am thinking of taking Fridays and inviting a guest. So taking other builders, free thinkers, people who are doing what we're doing, and just having a split screen conversation every Friday where we just kind of talk about what we're up to. I think that would really make things interesting, because we could talk about, hey, what are the hiccups that you're running into? Here are the hiccups we're running into, and you could kind of work it through. And I know there are some people who I've spoken with that would come on who have already hit this number up here. They've already hit the $100 million mark. I would love to talk to them to see, where are we What challenges are we facing? How long did it take you to get from here to here? What do we need to do? All those sorts of things. So I think it would be great to bring in other people on Fridays. Let me know what you think. I just have to figure out how to set it up. So maybe I'll try that every Friday. I think it would be a lot of fun. Okay, we jump into the chat. Everybody, welcome, welcome. Joe says first, good morning, Josh. Good morning to you, Joe. Welcome. Missy B says good morning. Good morning to you. Amy G from NC says hello, Josh. Welcome, Amy. Good to see you. Den Decor says hi noon at the List Easier Saloon. Welcome, Den Decor. Good to see you. Snoopy Collector shooting the Spider-Man blood out of the hand says hello. Good to see you, Snoopy Collector. M. Cole says hello, Josh. M. Cole, good to see you. J.R. Rodeffer says we are both working hard and hardly working. That's right. That's the way to do it, J.R. Good to see you today. Lucky Fine says, good morning, everyone. Let's explore the vision of List Easier. It's all our vision. We're crossing the field together. Do you remember that game? Was it Red Rover? Where you would link arms and then somebody would try and run and blast through your arms. Games they are not allowed to play anymore on the school field, but I feel like that's us. We're all linking arms and we're doing this together. Jen says, hello, Josh. Jen, good to see you. Lou says your Axiom boxes are gone. Yeah, so they are kind of gone. Okay, Lou, right there. This is very hard to do. Right there. See them? There. They're wrapped to pallets and they are ready for pickup. So that's what's going on with those. Lag says hello. Lag, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. David Varner says, hi, Josh. Is there a reason you price your average record at $29.99? Is that what we price those at? I thought it was $19.99. For some reason, no, I think it's $19.99 we price the records at. Is it $29.99, David? Let me fact check that. You could be right. You could be right on that. List Easier records. We are on average, I think it's $19.99. It's $19.99. Why do we choose $19.99? Because that from our data sets, that type of record, that is what they on average sell for. So some sell lower, some sell for a lot more. We're hitting the average. And if a record is overpriced, we have best offer. So if a $19 record is actually worth $15 and the buyer comes in and says, hey, I'll buy it, but I want to pay $15 for it, we'll probably accept the offer. So that's why. And if it's $10 off, so if it's $19.99, but it actually goes for $30, then we're happy to pass that discount on to the buyer. So that's why we price on average there. This will change though, David, as Price Easier becomes closer to reality. This will change, and we will most likely use Price Easier to deal with the pricing. Why don't we price each one individually? The primary answer for that is we have an employee. The employee is highly paid, and we have to factor in the time cost. So if we have someone trying to optimize each price, so hey, this isn't $19.99, it's $22.75, and she's checking every single price, her production goes down. So instead of, let's say, listing $20,000 worth of product in a day, she can only list $4,000. Now we have a $16,000 a day differential because she's trying to optimize the price on every single listing. That $16,000 differential is $160,000 over 10 days. It's $1.6 million over 100 days. You can see how this balloons into a massive cost. So, and it's hard for me, admittedly, David, because a lot of times you see things leaving that are worth $30, $35, $40 that we're selling them for 15 or 20, but it is the right thing to do. It is the right way to operate this type of business. So we have to be mindful of what time costs us. So that's why we do it that way. When price easier comes into batches, well, we're talking a whole different story then. Everything changes then. Lucky Fine says, let's hit the thumbs up for List Easier. Thank you, Lucky Finds. Yeah, definitely if you're interested in this kind of public documentation of building a company, bootstrapping a company from 0 to 100 million, which let's be honest, this is the American dream. And I believe in the American dream, and I believe everybody can start a business. And I think, well, not everybody, sorry, that's hyperbole. Most people should never do it. But those who want to start a business, eBay is like the best place to start because it teaches you so much. It teaches you so much. It teaches you about customer service and about what product people are interested in, how to manage inventory, taxes. Like you can start very, very small and grow it from there. So eBay is a great place to start. And if you are interested in this type of thing, this is kind of our document, the Road to 100 Million, saying that, essentially, we do believe in the American dream. We do believe it's possible, and we're going to do it. But to do it, I think you need an advantage. You have to have some sort of advantage over your customer. And in this case, it's the flux capacitor, which is the artificial intelligence, List Easier AI. Rob Special Interest says, happy Friday from the UK. Welcome, welcome. JR Rodeffer says, what is up with the listing calculator on the homepage? It's very non-intuitive and I can't get it to work. Not that I need it, laugh out loud. I have no idea. I'll have to take a look at that. I have not used the listing calculator as much as probably I should. I think with the listing calculator though, JR Rodeffer, I should have brought a second coffee because I blasted through my first one. With the listing calculator, this was a feature that was requested by certain people so that they could see where they were in the listing process. Now, I do believe that for the calculations, JR, if you're deleting your batches after you send them live, then that's going to mess up your numbers a little bit. So that might be what you're seeing. Kaloop is up 250% year to date compared to the same time last year so far on eBay, and Amazon is up 10% compared to last year. Guess which was influenced by List Easier? Dude, it's changing lives, man. You know it. It's changing lives. It's changing lives. It really is. Jovial says the Friday coffee sweats is a great start to the weekend. Greetings all. Sometimes it doesn't. Like sometimes I have a coffee and it has no impact, but I feel like now that I'm getting out more, I'm exercising more, I sleep more, my mood is more regulated because I'm not working all the time. Coffee has a bigger impact. Coffee has a bigger impact. I'll have to call him back. Sorry, Chris, I missed your call. I'm doing a live. I will call you back, my friend. The Reseller Locker Room says, hello, good to see you, Reseller Locker Room podcast. Great podcast. Check it out. Our friends at the Reseller Locker Room podcast. Please check it out. Luke Coyne says, eBay is on fire. Almost $2,000 yesterday. Now I get to pack all of these orders. Bring it, Lou. Bring it. You guys are fire. Bring it. Andy Reno says, update on the second account. Woke up this morning to Firefox having trouble. Shooting diagnostics now. And now the second account works on List Easier. It's me, not you. So that was a discussion we had yesterday about Andy Reno's account, and it seems to be a Firefox issue. If I can tell you guys the number one issues that people have, by far number one issue that people have with List Easier is that they're zoomed in too much on their screen. So if you are watching this video and your screen view or your screen resolution is more than 100%, so if you have bad eyesight and all the printing on your computer screen is very big, you're probably zoomed into 150 or 175%. That's going to make the program List Easier looked very janky. So we are going to work on screen factoring because this is not something we thought of. But if you log into List Easier and you're like, this looks very difficult or not intuitive, it's your screen resolution. To lower your screen resolution, press Control and then hit the minus sign or the plus sign on the number pad on the right hand side. And that will adjust your screen resolution, and you'll all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, I get it now. Okay, it makes sense now. So that's where that issue is. People are specifically having that issue with when they have monitors, when they not a computer monitor, but they're using like a TV monitor or something. So you have to adjust the screen resolution. And I say the number 2 issue that people have is that they make a mistake. They either double click or they something like that, and they accidentally generate listings before they should have. So when you add your photos, and then instead of you don't properly do something, or you miss a step and you click again and it generates nothing basically. So then you're wasting 20 credits because you lose those credits in the listing generation. I would say that's the number 2 issue, is that people make a mistake or something goes wrong down the line and they accidentally consume credits when they didn't intend to. And there's not a whole lot we can do about that. We've talked about that, where you create a gate, are you sure you want to do this? And that prevents that double click. But the problem then is all the users who are power users who are doing this really quickly. So, the way I can kind of describe those kind of users are they hover the mouse over where the next button is because they've done it so many times. That really slows them down. And, we don't want to do that either. So we're just kind of dealing with that for now. But I would say those are the 2 primary issues that people have. And then maybe the third one is people attempt to use the software for big bundles also. So the problem with that is if you list, let's say 40 items and they're all different, the logic for the AI is tell me what this thing is. What is this thing? And when it's a multiple of things in one, the AI doesn't get it. So if the bundle is 3 or 4 things, it can do it. Once you start getting into 40 or 50 things, it's there's a logic error where you're asking it to tell you what this one thing is, but it's a combination of things that it's never seen before. So it's never seen that combination. So this is kind of a logic issue, and it will improve over time, but that's where that is right now. It will improve. The technology is not fully caught up at this point. So those are the top 3 things. Cindy, where pigs fly farm, says, I hear other YouTubers talking about cross-listing all the time. It seems like a waste of time to me, especially now that more people search through Google. What are your thoughts? So here are my thoughts. You're opening a can of worms here. So other YouTubers talk about cross-listing all the time. Number 1, do they even do it? So do they do it? Show me the receipts. You say you do it. I use this and I cross-list. Show me the receipts. Because then you do a video and you say you don't even use the other listing site. So is it that you have an affiliate and you don't even use it? Because then you're just saying it to make money. So are you even using it? I'd like to know. 90% of the time, the answer is no. They don't even use the service that they're promoting. So that's the first one. I have no problem with cross-listing. The problem with cross-listing is the point of List Easier is to add value. And, we're in this weird position now where, we want to add value to all the users, clearly happening. But we also, for us to maintain the strong relationship with eBay, we also have to add value to eBay, which we do, right? The more you guys list and the more stuff that goes up, and, as your businesses grow, their fees and everything else is going to grow too. So everyone is getting value. It's all the boats go up higher. When we start cross-listing, we start taking value away from eBay. So this is something that we've had this discussion many, many times. The second thing with this that is a concern for us, because implementing the cross-listing is not that difficult. But the second concern is that one of the platforms is suspending people for removals. So again, we're in this position where we want to do things that benefit the customer, only benefit. That's it. So if you are going to lose your account because you've been using our service to cross-list, you've had to cancel items, you get your account suspended, what kind of customer service situation is that going to put us in? Like, hey, I used your software, I got suspended. Can you help me get my account back? So before we implement something like that, we want to have that discussion with the other platforms saying, hey, if we provide this service, we under no circumstance can we have our users getting suspended. Like, we can add marker data, we can do something, metadata, whatever, but we have to set it up that our users don't get suspended. And if we can do that, then that's something we might offer. So that we're kind of in that situation there with that. The other thing is, and you mentioned this, Cindy, and it's a great point, is that a lot of the sales traffic is coming from Google and the LLMs. Things have changed. So we're seeing fewer and fewer sales on platform and more sales off platform. What happens is, as time moves on, it really starts not to matter which platform you put this stuff on, because the offsite sales keep growing and growing and growing as long as you're optimizing for offsite. Some of these other platforms have very bad infrastructure to create what you need to optimize your listing offsite for searchability, surfaceability, discoverability, SEO rank, all these things. So we've chosen the path of optimizing you for Google and the LLMs so that you can make those sales offsite. And then, of course, optimizing on eBay itself so that you can get a high rank on eBay. eBay does a very good job with their architecture and ecosystem of allowing you to build these optimizations in. For example, you can fill up the description box. You have plenty of item specifics available. You have up to 80 characters that can go in the title. They have pictures attached to each listing. And believe me, not every site does. You'd think they would, which allows the reverse image searches and the computer vision searches to pick up the photos as well. So essentially, because the eBay architecture is so strong, you can get these super high ranking listings everywhere. So then the question becomes, if 90% of your sales are happening through eBay, whether those sales are guest checkouts from ChatGPT or Gemini or Google or on the eBay site itself, but if 90% of your sales are coming from eBay and 10% are coming from somewhere else, why would you spend all this time and effort and management for 10% of your sales? Don't get me wrong, 10% of sales is a significant amount, but could that time and effort have been put into, especially now with List Easier, listing just another 50 items or 100 items? Or would those items have sold anyway through one of the guest checkouts? So I'm not knocking cross-listing whatsoever or anybody who does it, but we have to be very careful when we think about this. Where do we want to direct resources? So do we want to direct the resources into, let's say, eBay Motors? So, hey, we could provide cross-listing for people. It might get them suspended. They might have got the sales anyway. Can we provide that as the next step, or should we integrate eBay Motors, which is super freaking hard, and nobody else is really doing it because it's so hard? So we're running to it's so hard, we're going to do that. And then, after that, we'll take a look. But this is a conversation. We don't have this working relationship with the other platforms. There's 3 platforms right now that we have a very strong working relationship with their devs. That's where we want to be, because we can ask their devs to audit us to make sure that we're doing what they want us to do. And then we can always play within the parameters of what they're allowing us to do. So anyway, that's a long answer to a really good question, but the focus is for us is value creation for our customers. So when you guys are saying, you know, I earned an extra $5,000 last month, or an extra $10,000, or my sales are up 20,000 or 200%, all this stuff, that's the value creation. So in this case, everybody wins. You guys, your businesses are growing, you're winning. We're winning because we're doing what we said we're going to do. eBay is winning. We just got to make sure that we keep that in mind no matter what we build. So right now we're running towards really, really, really difficult problems, and we're going to focus on that. And so right now, I mean, if cross-listing is important to you, then definitely you should use one of the cross-listers. The other thing I want to say, I'll wrap it up with this, Cindy, but this is such a great question. There are 5, 6, or 7 cross-listers essentially doing the same thing. There's almost nobody doing what we're doing. So this AI optimization, this deep architecture work, running towards these super difficult problems, that kind of stuff, nobody's really doing that. That's the direction that we need to go. And I think over time, this is, I think over time, this will prove to be the correct direction. If you look at the numbers that we are getting here, so you see it in the comments section. I made an extra 15,000. I made 200% extra. I did this, I did that, 35,000 over so many days. These are huge numbers. You are like, who else is doing that? There's a lot of money going into people's pocket. That is a lot of money people are making. If you're cross-listing, how often do you hear people say, I started cross-listing last month, and now 30 days later, I made an extra $10, $12, $15,000. Maybe, but I don't hear it. And as far as the YouTuber stuff goes, most of them don't even use it. Maybe some do. Most of them don't even use it. It's one thing I can say with us is that everybody who's talking about this uses it. And the YouTubers, we don't have anyone aboard, or we're not working with anyone that doesn't use it. So they use it. They depend on it. It helps them grow their business. That Kevin is investing $100,000 into building so he can grow his business. You know, they are using it. So I just don't think you hear that from anything else that's going on right now. And I think that's a very clear advantage for us in a window of asymmetry. We're going to lean into that. I love the relationship right now that we have with eBay. It is a risk. It is a risk right now. We can always pivot off of it if we have to. So anything that has an open API, once we're fully built, we can integrate with anybody that has an open AI or open API. It is a risk to be this closely working with eBay because they could roll over and crush you. But right now, we're just focused on value creation for them. And right now, that's opened up a lot of opportunity for us, and that's the direction we're going to keep going. I wish eBay would watch. eBay, watch this video. Watch this video. A guest would be great, said Joe. I think so too, Joe. I think we could get some pretty cool points, some interesting points coming through here, and some good discussions with the guest. Beard King Picker, Alex says, that sounds cool. Beard King Alex, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. David said I meant to say 1999. Fair enough, I gotcha. Lucky Fine says, great idea. Sounds good. B-Nudes saying, greetings, everyone. How are you all doing? Good to see you, B-Nudes. Welcome, welcome. Flip It Good says, hi, Josh. Good to see you, Flip It Good. The man, John JUK, says, "Hey Josh, always wondered how you, Dave, and Travis first met." This is a pretty interesting story. So there were YouTubers named Melinda and Adine, and their YouTube channel was called Hustlin' Hooks. And I was at the time, this is years ago, but I was at the time doing storage lockers, and I hated listing clothing. And Melinda and Adine were very much into clothing. They had just bought a little warehouse and everything else. So I did a storage locker, and there were like essentially gaylords of pallets, or gaylords of clothes there, and I didn't want them. So because they had always been so kind to me, both of them, they gave my son a gift on his birthday. They would reach out, just send emails and be very encouraging. They were such good stewards of the community. Like, I really, really liked them. So I essentially offered them in the comment section, like, hey, if you want these gaylords of clothes, I'll send them to you. And I think there was a little bit of a problem with the trucking and the getting it across the border, because this would have left Canada into the United States. And with the trucking fees and everything, they were like, it's probably not worth it for 2 pallets. But Dave was also watching them and in their comments section, and he said, hey, I'll take it. Come by. And I was like, well, where do you live? And then we found out we were only 5 minutes away from each other. So the way business was, we were kind of touch and go, touch and go. He started buying stuff from my store, reaching out. I came by here with coffee. We talked. So that's at this warehouse. Started discussing things, which turned into me just dropping by all the time. And one day he was like, look at this super cool thing I'm working on, which was List Easier AI, but the very bare bones version of it. And he said, I think we can do something with this. And I was like, yeah, this is something. This is huge. It's so big, but can we turn it into like something really incredible? And he said, well, I know a guy, and he is probably one of the smartest people, or he is the smartest person I know. He's really advanced when it comes to this technical design and back-end work. If he's interested, if we can onboard him, maybe the 3 of us could do this together. And it was born there. So ever since that, we've just been working closely together to build this thing and grow it, and also do it ourselves. So that was a good question, John Jay. Thank you. It's a good Friday question. Flaming Anvil says, do I have Whatnot in the States? Yeah, you got Whatnot in the United States? Definitely. You could use Whatnot in the US. JR Rodeffer says, sales are up 93%. Net up 55%, quantity sold up 174%. This is what happens when you specialize versus previously being an everything seller. Yeah, and you have the discipline to just do it, and do it again the next day, and do it again the next day, and not kill yourself, and enjoy yourself like you do. Go for a drive, go for a walk, listen to some music. I'm not burned out. I can do this every single day, no problem. I'm actually having fun. The numbers are following me. Yeah, definitely. So again, if you are up 93% this year over last, if you're cross-listing, so cross-listing isn't focused on optimization, but if you're cross-listing, are you getting up that same 93%? This is not coming from me. It's coming from people who do this in the comment section. I think not. When we I'm almost like taking this to like a personal level now. Cindy, you opened up the can of worms. But when we first started this, we started with optimization. And what was coming back was the optimization is not as important. Like that, it's getting it to multiple platforms. But we saw the data shifting towards guest checkouts and lots of off-platform sales. So basically, the discovery is happening off-site and the transaction is happening on-site. We started to see more and more of that. So that's where we focused. And nobody else was focused on that. Nobody else was doing it. But once we started showing the results of optimization and what optimization was doing, all of a sudden, the optimization vernacular started coming into everybody else's software. They're saying, we're optimizing, we optimize, we optimize. And then the affiliates started saying, we optimize, we optimize, we optimize. This is the position that List Easier wants to be in. We want to be in the leadership position where the others are reacting to our innovation. So this is the path forward for us. And I just think that, who else is getting these kind of numbers that JR is getting? I don't think anybody. Rob's special interest says auto assign has random numbers. Just take in 13 photos of each item, but there's no 13 option. Rob, check. There's a mistake. If you double check, because the auto assign is never wrong. It's never, ever, ever wrong. So just make sure and check. Auto assign is a mathematical equation that automatically divides the number of photos that are in your batch. So since it's an algorithm, it can't be wrong. There's a mistake somewhere in the photos. Binut says, just make a commit flag in the settings. When ticked, it will ask about the listing commit, and when not for power users. Yeah, so what Binut is talking about here is, our MS Unites is in product guidance. We talked about this the other day. For us, it is, as Super Dave said, that's big brain stuff. And I'm sure it's coming down the pipe. But in product guidance like that has to be associated with a login. But also knowing that every time you clear your cache, will it consider it a new login, and will it force you to go through all the in-product guidance again? So this is a discussion we have had. We will get there with in-product guidance. We are committed, though, not to pissing off our power users. So the JR Rodeffers of the world whose lives are changing, right? I think I can say that, JR Rodeffer, but the JR Rodeffers of the world, we're committed not to pissing them off. So these kind of people are generating so much value from it that these little hiccups could derail them. And, so that's always the balance that we have to watch for. Charlie Goki says, or Lou Coins, I'm going to call you Lou Coins from now on, even though I know you as Charlie. Lou says, I've never used cross-listing in 27 years. Yeah, you go where the sales are. I think for used goods, eBay's the boss still. Homemade goods or handmade goods, I'm going to give that to Etsy. Brand new stuff that you need tomorrow, I'm giving it to Amazon. And if you don't feel like going out to the store, but the store has it, that's Walmart and Costco. So, and Costco is really leaning into groceries, and Walmart with grocery delivery. So those are still the big kind of big mamas or big daddies on the block. JR Rodeffer says, maybe an appropriate feature is business policies template for Flex. Again, we looked at that, JR Rodeffer. So the business policies for Flex, it creates a lot of confusion. So some people, the way we did it, if you're doing 10 listings and it's all the same size, put in the business policy in the first one and then click apply all. So that's kind of how we did it, so that you could apply the business policy to every single listing in Flex if you wanted to. But again, we got to watch that we don't create confusion, because people will accidentally select, they'll list one CD and 9 vacuums, and they'll use the CD shipping policy for the vacuums too. And the next thing you know, they're like, why did it only charge $3.99 for this vacuum? That's not what I put. So we give you the option that for that batch, if you want to use that business policy for that entire batch all the way down, click apply to all. You can click return policy, apply to all. So that's really the best way to do it. And that puts the onus on the user. So if you clicked apply all, You did it. We didn't do it for you. So we're not forcing you into that, but we're giving you the option. Alex Beard King Picker says, I pay for a Crosslister, but don't use it. Laugh out loud. So it's just like throwing money away. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Crosslisting has its place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it doesn't work or anything else. There are several companies who have built, they've built solid companies out of Crosslisting, and they are providing a good service. It's not like it's what they're doing is wrong or anything. It's just that market, like we see it, we see the dominant entrance. So do we come in here and say, hey, we're going to be a Crosslister and we're going to do it too? Then we have to ask ourselves, how do we do it better than they're already doing it? So we're going to have to do it faster, better, cheaper, everything. Maybe we can, but right now we are on our own doing super hard things. We want to continue with that and then force them all to catch up to us. Kaloop says, would you say that current development for List Easier is more towards new users or existing users? Hope that makes sense. Not saying either is better, just curious as to the mindset currently. So our mindset is both. So we can't have existing users without onboarding current users. So the first users that we get are very curious. They have a very specific problem. So this is when we first launched, and they needed that problem met. So for them, it was, I don't want to sit here listing all day. I'm willing to take the chance to see that this works. So that's the first users, and they were in batch. Newer users now, their margins are compressed. So essentially, I don't have a lot of money because fees and this and that and everything else. I don't have a lot of time, so they're time compressed, and they need to log in and have this thing working right away. So for us, we know the software works, right? So it's proven to work. It's just taking you from being brand new, never doing this before, not having a lot of time, very quick to frustration, and showing you how to do it with the least amount of friction. So give you a quick win. Here's how it works. Boom, you list the 10 things. Before you start the second batch, to sell, something like that. So we put a lot of time into the new users. And you got to think too, the mindset, Kaloop, for both is different. So the new users, all this customer service, customer support, that's primarily for new users. If you are running into a hiccup, reach out. We're going to get you going the way you need to get going. The power users, the existing users or power users, they operate differently. So they will find their own way. And the way they operate is, don't disrupt me, essentially. Like, I'm making an extra this amount of dollars every single month or every single week. This is working very, very well for me. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want you changing anything. You just keep it going. So for those users, we can implement features that will make it better, or we can work on the back end to improve the service, but ultimately they don't want their workflow disrupted. There are enterprise or power users that are sitting on the sidelines that are saying to us, we have like 5 maybe that will say, we need this or we can't come aboard. So then integrating those features, those are things that we work on as well. Think about if you sell truck parts, right? Or if you run your own inventory management system and you need deep integration. So those things are happening as well. So I would say, Kaloop, equally. We work equally. The good thing about working with enterprise clients, so we just signed a very large enterprise, client. The good thing with working with those people is you start understanding what their needs are and then how to build towards their needs too, or needs as well. So enterprise wants no disruption, including our power users. They want it to work without disruption. They want it to be reliable. That is how they operate. Even the JR road efforts, they just want it working. Don't disrupt it. I don't want constant updates. I don't want to have to constantly relearn it. I want it working for my model. And once you get it there, I'll just use it and use it and use it. The people who start, they're more money conscious. So it's more like, I don't want to waste credits. Like if I make a mistake and I lose a few credits, I want to get those reimbursed. Or I don't understand what's going on here and I'm very frustrated. I know it works as I hear other people saying it works, but it's not working for me. Why? I'm frustrated. So it's getting those people, showing them how it works, getting everybody on board, fixing, if they make a mistake, we'll help out, all this other stuff. Those people will all become power users eventually because they'll get familiar with it. They'll get using it. They'll get on and they're like, okay, this is working. And as they make more money, their needs change. As they make more money and they grow, they start going up the steps to don't break this thing. Keep it running the way it's running. So good question, Kaloop. Good question. Thank you. Binut says cross-listing can result in site problems to be sure. There were maybe or are still some site authorized partners that cover mishaps by their software along with the venue. Channel Advisor was one. Yeah, we have this discussion about cross-listing almost every single day, but we do have to travel the road untraveled, which is what we're doing. So I think I'm going to say that features that disperse items onto various sites are coming at some point down the line, but you guys see the results here in the chat. Like what we're doing is working, and there's more that we can do so that it works even better. And we're going to keep down that path. Super Dave says all in on existing users. We have a large list of features that have been requested, and we're actively building out each one we decide would be useful for our current customer base. Yeah, so there you go. So Dave is saying we're focused on the existing users, but I think it really is both. Now, why Dave said it like that, we are not out there pushing. Like you don't see us with huge like affiliate push or ad push or anything else. So right now, onboarding people who don't really need it. So if you just first started using eBay, or you just like this isn't really a thing for you, or you don't really want to grow a business, capturing those people, they'll just churn eventually anyway because they're not really as active as what we all are. So that's why Dave is kind of saying it like that. Yeah, motors is a big market, says Den Decor. Absolutely, yeah. And they're sitting there and they're waiting for us. Yeah, Binut says huge market. Retired with books, Kiss, right? Yeah, keep it simple. Definitely keep it simple. But once you have the power users, you got to think their livelihood is tied to List Easier. It's infrastructure now. So if someone like Kevin says, I'm building a $100,000 barn, what he is ultimately saying is, I expect you to be there for me to pay for that barn. And so that is a big commitment. So we're saying yes. And Kevin's not the only one. So we have to ensure that we don't disrupt those users because they're dependent on the income, and this is allowing them to very quickly grow their business. Yeah, Binut says that we have a junkyard here. Best I can figure, it does 7 million annually on eBay. At eBay Open, I met a truck seller in Minnesota. He sold truck parts. He sold his business for $300 million. He was doing 30 million a year in truck parts. He sold it for 300 million. And he was just casually talking to me at eBay Open. And, like, dude, you did it. You did it. You escaped the Matrix. He goes, yeah, well, I miss it too. It was fun. I just golf now. J.R. Rover says, I'm sending in a support ticket with the details on the same indexing errors I had last time. Den Decor Depot says, I literally buy 90% of my parts for the fleet on motors. Fair enough, Den Decor. Super Dave says cross-listing is problematic from an SEO perspective. Google hates duplicate content. That's a really good point, by the way. Google hates duplicate content across different domains and may downrank your eBay listings if the same title and description is used across sites. This is another point. That is another point that we have brought up many times. Yes, if you take this listing and then you put it somewhere else, now Google sees it as duplicate content. It ranks both of it down. So that is another thing as well that, these are discussions that we've had, that if there is a cross-listing service, we have to significantly alter the listing onto the other site so that it is also unique content, essentially doubling your chances of getting a sale, not really even, but increasing the chances of getting a sale rather than downranking both listings, which you don't want. So the worst thing you can do is have identical content on 2 or 3 or 4 sites, because Google sees that, and the LLMs see that as like a spamming redundancy. And it will downrank the listings. I can tell you that happened to me with WHS Stereo View, because verbatim, I moved listings, I cross-listed listings from my eBay store to my Shopify store, verbatim. And what did it do? It downranked my Shopify store, where I actually got the downranks from Google saying, we've lowered the rank on this, we've lowered the rank on that, we've lowered the rank. This is how many of your items are visible. And I went from having thousands of items visible to like under 200. And part of that was also because they're used items, and Google doesn't rank used items very well on Shopify, but they do on eBay. So yeah, that's a really good point. So lock that in. That's a big point from Super Dave as well. Kaloop says, awesome. So would the idea be that more money existing users can make, and the more they can scale, the more credits they will buy, so everyone makes more? You got it, Kaloop. Yeah. Yeah. So the idea is we're doing this together. So you guys grow, you'll use more credits, we'll grow, eBay gets more fees, everyone is making more money. Everyone is saving time. The tide raises all boats. Not a zero-sum game where we're pulling more from people, and they're receiving less. Exactly, Kaloop. It is a tide that raises all boats. Everybody does well. Yeah, and B Nudes says, yeah, the days of let's make 25 websites are long gone. Exactly. So if you have similar sites, and don't mistake it. I got to go soon, but don't mistake it. Your eBay listing is a web page. It's a unique web page, and that's why it ranks so well. So if you spam similar web pages or identical web pages, you get downranked. Right away, it recognizes the duplicate content and it gets downranked 100%. Absolute Fine says it's really hard to start a business with no direction. I agree. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, everyone. JR Rodeffer says, yeah, I use the first mover for AI listing, and list easier listings get way more views and sales. Yeah, it totally does. Yeah, it's not even close for sure, JR. Missy B says, I cross-list only to Etsy, and very selective at that. Only after it has 30 days on eBay. It makes me more money, but not enough to dedicate too much time. Yeah, Etsy is another site that does a very good job of integrating their listings, or creating the architecture and infrastructure in their listings that they can rank their listings very well on Google. So, and I would assume the LLMs as well. So if you do a lot of handmade or vintage, you'll get a lot of guest traffic coming through Google for sure. Super Dave says, basically, it is much easier to help our current users grow from 1,000 listings to 3,000 per month than onboarding a new user. And we like that challenge more, to be honest. Fair enough. James, yeah, Super Dave is saying, we're here for businesses. So a casual reseller may come and go. because what List Easier provides for them is pain relief. If you're a casual reseller and you get onto List Easier and you say, I have 50 things and I just can't list it, it's driving me crazy. You quickly list them on List Easier, the pain goes away and you go away. A business is growing, they're building something. So those people will continue, those businesses will continue to list more and more because they're making more money. It becomes part of their infrastructure. So, that's what Dave is saying there. Dave said Josh was too shy to meet up, had to bring him out of his shell, aka storage unit or storage units. Yeah. Super Dave says to JR Rodeffer, any details you can send will help. I don't even know if I fully understand the problem enough to try and attempt to fix it at this point. James Helferstay says, and some moron named James is relisting all the items in his store with List Easier. James is on the optimization train right now. Lag says that's how it happened. B-Nudes is up 114% off between the two stores. That is awesome, awesome. Dixie Flipper says, I've seen more sales on Mercari after using List Easier and putting it on my eBay than Mercari. I'm loving it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Crush it, Dixie Flipper. Awesome. Okay, I'll do a couple more from the people who haven't said anything yet. Garden Resale Thrift says, what's wrong with List Perfectly? Nothing. I've never used it. I don't have anything. I have no idea anything about them. I'm sure, but they are, when it comes to cross listing, they're one of the best. Let's put it that way. So there's nothing wrong with them. And I'm sure they would say the same about us with AI listing. Lucky Fine says, will you guys add weight and dimensions in the near future? It's already there, I think. Or do you mean guessing the weight and dimensions? Do you mean guessing what the weight and dimensions are? That's an interesting one. That would be a tall order. Beard King says, wow, I did not know that about cross-listing. The few I have now, I might delete them. I don't want to lower rank. So all these things going on, Alex. All these things going on. Luke Coyne says, I love that point you made about cross-listing and the duplicate info on Google. That is a very good point. Yeah, that's coming from Super Dave and Travis the Brain. That's big brain stuff there, for sure. D-Box says, can't wait for Price Easier in bulk. I want my brother to take pics and set the price, and he doesn't know about pricing at all, and I think it would help save a lot of time. I think you're right. Okay, everyone, have an awesome weekend. I appreciate all of you. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend of sales.